Hey guys, it's Thoughtful Thursday. I didn't do anything for Wellness Wednesday other than work out and enjoy the beginning of my cycle. I just wanted to vegetate and sort of chill. I was going through my notebook, one of my old ones, and I found a note, kind of a long one. It looks like it was going to be a blog post that I never posted, and it's all about boundaries, which I love because it's Scorpio season, and Scorpio's all about boundaries. What boundaries you have, what boundaries you need to establish, pushing boundaries, all that shit. So I think I want to read a little bit, and as much as I hate to read on camera, it's good though. So if I need to veer off and then a little explanation, I will. But this is where we're starting up my riff today. It starts. We all have personal rules that we agree to in our minds. These are the ways we wish to be treated, and how we tend to treat others is usually based on these silent rules we've made in our minds. Often we expect others to know our limits by how we treat others. But how often do we find ourselves frustrated with how we are being treated? Feeling undervalued because this certain criteria we made up wasn't met. Unlike the rules of the road when driving, there is no manual, no handbook, no written rules of conduct from individual to individual. The closest we come to this type of written instructions are the religious books of, let's see. Yeah, basically, the religious texts we have from all these cultures. I don't want to name them all because I have them written down, but I don't see the point. These are the best guidelines we have for how to act with people and individuals. Every culture has attempted to put a code of conduct into words, and yet humanity still hasn't solved some of the most fundamental issues we have when honoring and respecting one another's limits. Often it is because the individual does not understand their own limitations, wants, and needs. Their hearts cry to be understood. How do you begin to find your basic truths so you can begin to respect others' truths? I am not comfortable speaking for the collective, but I can speak on how I've been finding my boundaries and truths. One of the ways I became more aware of my boundaries was paying attention to vibrations. If something made me react with tension or made me withhold my breath, I was aware it was something that I didn't want in my life. I had a fundamental problem because of my trauma that had in my childhood and in my teenage years. I would endure too much, and I would railroad my own sense of comfort and let my pain threshold get way too high, and then I would bleed over everywhere and all over people who didn't deserve it because I was internally damaged. So, in order to sense vibrations, I had to strip down all the ways I intook information, and I lived like a monk for 2 years. I was celibate. I only saw and spoke to 3 people during the entire duration, and I utilized all the tools on YouTube I could find. My soul needed the rehab. Not everyone will need to have the level of dedication of seclusion to tune in that I did. I had spent a long time in deep mistrust of my senses. So, because of the fact that I had a deep mistrust of my own senses, my soul found it necessary to be alone with myself so I could relearn how to trust myself. Dig? So, I had lived in disassociation from all connection. I was relearning how to live because I was constantly living in fear. The process I chose was painful, but really worth it. When I would disassociate at first, it was my silent weapon I used against my mother when I was still a child. I loved that I could vanish right before someone's eyes. I did. I'd be there with her and present in one moment, and the next I could be looking into her bullying face. But my mind is free. I couldn't feel sad or happy, but I was controlling my experience of life, not her. So I kept staying in that safe place. If I try and describe that feeling of disassociation, It was a lot like making life into a movie in my mind. I saw things up close and in strange snapshots of focus. I could choose if I wanted to change the channel when I was done with my scene. I would daydream and anything to keep from feeling my emotions too personally. There was no now in this place. It was always when X is Y, I will feel blank. The future or the past was the only sources I felt safe in. I was allowed no gratitude or joy. Any extreme would have endangered my emotions and caused them to be brought up for purging. I was afraid of them. The depth and weight of my misery and joy were like being naked and exposed to the elements in nature. Happiness felt like a blistering sunburn, and sadness was an inky black cesspool with no bottom. To be in the now was terror itself. Too open, too vulnerable, too able to be disappointed. To disassociate is to deny the whole wheel of life is turning. I was more than happy to do this farcical thing. To control was safe for 28 years. My superpower was invisibility for 28 years. What happens when you don't spend time in the now, not listening to your guts, not sensing your vibrations, and not taking an active role in your life? You lose the one person who can love you the most, who can meet your needs, your most fundamental needs for you. When you cause your own disappearance, other people can't reflect yourself to you. There is no mirroring. When you sense this, it feels like everyone around you looks past you. It's what you wanted, right? You never allow yourself to be known. The direct result is that you never truly meet yourself. You never feel your own feelings. You are always subject to the collective consciousness. No commitment. No contentment. If you don't matter to you first, you will never matter to anyone else. You are the one person you spend the most time with. If you don't know what you feel like, how can you take care of you? My first step was feeling the nature of my fears, the sharp and the smooth, and finding the source of the memory that caused my fears to manifest. Because I did not become myself, I gave myself up. I gave myself up. I gave myself up to nothingness. Then I gave myself up to relationships as an adult. I took no responsibility. No mirrors, no reflection, no happiness, no closeness, no direction, and plenty of despair. That despair is the door you must open to begin to feel once more. It is the feast of the starving man that you must have in small bites, or it will overcome you. When you stop running from all feeling and face it, everything comes back at once. Every trauma, every memory, every joy at once. Anything that was denied focus comes back to your mind. And guess what else? Your body remembers every emotion too. Your body is an amazing, intelligent organ. The fascia holds every emotion we've ever had and stores it in parts of your body. You will experience everything and you will remember. This is the first step to reclaiming the abandoned you. The worst has already happened and you survived. The world is your mirror. You will vibrate like a piano with every strike. At first, discord. You will only receive discord. What that is surrender to the now. You are feeling, for the first time, the vulnerability of not being in control. In reality, this is the first step to allowing your truth to be free. The deeper truth is that you orchestrated your life plan before you came to Earth. You already have control in this life. Trying to control anything else in this life will change resistance to what already is. Your action is to trust, which can be frightening, especially when you don't trust yourself yet. Now you're one step closer to better boundaries. It begins with awareness opening up. And those are really good thoughts. I want you to listen to that a few times if you get the chance. But boundaries work both ways. And the wholeness that can come from the blessing of healthy boundaries is so worth the discipline of learning how to cultivate that trust within yourself to be able to establish with the rest of the world. I promise. It's not easy. I promise it's not easy, but it's so fucking worth it. That's my Thoughtful Thursday. And I hope you feel blessed. Watch your reading. Go add Megan. You only have a couple days left for the giveaway. So get on that. May your spirits be rested. May you feel whole.